can't front. This one kind of got me a little upset at Apple on this one, and that is, alright y'all, so although I'm hype about the upcoming M1X Mac Mini, but I gotta say there's some key things that's missing that might actually make me stay with the current M1 Mac Mini. Let's go ahead and break this all the way down. Alright y'all, so on yesterday, man, I talked about and gave you guys a sneak peek at the M1X Mac Mini and some of the renders that were actually circulating out there on these internet streets. After all of that excitement, right, I shared about it, I talked about it in that video, I ended up taking a step back and I said to myself, wait a minute, this machine is missing some really key things that I actually want to share with you guys in this video, and I want to actually address my thoughts on people saying how close the USB-C and Thunderbolt ports are. But real quick, before we actually get all into that, I want you guys right now, comment down below how many likes is on this video at the time when you guys are watching it, and y'all already know I'm gonna be down there in the comments with y'all, showing y'all some love, so thanks for doing that. Alright y'all, so from a design perspective, right, I like the overall look of it, and them making it slimmer with cutting it down by at least 50% makes a whole lot of sense to me, since the internals are not as much as we saw with the Intel version. But one design question or concern I have is with the placement of the airflow vent being located on the bottom of the actual unit versus the back of the unit like we saw with the current M1 Mac Mini and just other Mac Minis in the past. Now, if I'm actually taking my Mac Mini, right, and I'm sitting it bottom down on my desk, I feel like this will potentially cause some overheating issues or possibly some thermal throttling or slowing down certain applications and different things like that. I understand why it's actually placed towards the back of the unit, because this is where all of the ports are actually located, which we're gonna talk about those ports here in a second, so stick around for that. But it needs to actually cool that area the most, right? So I was a little confused as to why Apple would possibly decide to put the airflow vent on the bottom of it instead of actually on the back of the unit. The only thing that I can actually think that maybe the two rubber feet strips that are underneath of it would allow it to actually sit high enough for the airflow to give the unit proper cooling. But until we actually see it and it is released, we just gonna have to wait and see how that's all gonna play out. Now let's go ahead and talk about the back of this unit with the ports, since I know that's why all of you guys are here. Now in my last video, you guys all expressed your concerns about the position of the USB-C Thunderbolt ports, right? So let's go ahead and start there and let me break this all down to you guys. So for those out there that don't know what the heck I'm talking about, there were some people out there saying that they believe the 4 USB-C and Thunderbolt ports are way too close to be able to plug in cables next to each other, right? Now from the renders, I can see why they would actually say that. But guys, listen, these are renders, meaning based off of the rumored layout features, it helps paint a picture of what it could actually look like and what's coming to the Mac Mini, meaning that the space in between that is on the screen right now are possibly not accurate. Plus, have you ever owned a Apple product where their ports don't allow for you to be able to plug things next to each other? So I'd imagine that the spacing of the USB-C Thunderbolt ports will literally mimic the exact same design that we see on the current M1 Mac Mini. Now the next thing I want to discuss with you guys is in regards to the ports that I can't front. This one kind of got me a little upset at Apple on this one, and that is the lack of the SD card reader. Yes, I am a content creator out there who still uses an SD card to film my videos that you guys are watching right now, even for taking photos. So I think it would have been nice to have an SD card reader built in for majority of the people who still use those to be able to transfer video files from or photos from their cameras to their computers to be able to work on them, right? But luckily for y'all, because y'all watch my videos and I like y'all, I have a solution for you guys that's gonna solve all your problems, and that is this USB-C hub with a hard drive enclosure that this site I found called the applenest.com that sells a solid amount of Apple accessories on them that's affordable at the same time. It also allows you to be able to put the external SSD in it, and it's going to expand your storage. But as a bonus, what we're talking about here is that it's going to give you guys a TF as well as an SD card reader on the front of it, making it way easier for you guys to be able to access those ports on the front versus the back like we see on the current M1 Mac Mini. And it's easy. All you guys got to do is plug it right into the back of the M1X Mac Mini using one of the USB-C ports and sit the Mac Mini on top of it, and boom. Just like that, you guys got a clean setup, and that missing SD card reader is no longer missing. I'll go ahead and link that down in the description section below for you guys to order yours today. That way, you guys don't have to be one of the people that's missing out. Now, another thing that nobody is actually talking about, but I have to bring it up, mainly because I use it, and that is the headphone jack. Now, I know Apple is doing a big push about removing it from all of its products, but for me, with my desktop speakers that I have, because the M1 Mac Mini had Bluetooth connectivity issues, I personally hardwire my my speakers into the Mac Mini using a 3.5mm headphone port. So for me to be able to see this actually removed on the new upcoming M1X Mac Mini is kind of a bummer, because I'm hoping we don't have those same Bluetooth issues, because to me, that would be a big problem. Now, the last thing that I want to discuss with you guys that actually one of you actually brought up, I honestly felt there was a very valid point, is that you guys were saying in my last video that you believe that the Ethernet port might be on the power brick, which is very similar to what we got on the M1 iMac here. They are essentially using the same power connector, so it would actually make sense that they would actually use that same method on this one, right? Although that was a very good observation, I think this render design we see here will be how it comes out. Hold on, let me grab the iMac. Oh, got this thing. Now, the reason why they actually had to do it on the M1 iMac here is because of this so thin screen. It literally, the port is actually too big to actually fit on the back of the machine here, because it would literally poke through, because this thing is crazy freaking thin. And by the M1X Mac Mini being thick enough, I still think we're gonna see the port on the back of the M1X Mac Mini, how we actually see it in the renders. Well guys, that pretty much wraps up this video. If you guys have any questions about the new M1X Mac Mini, then go ahead and let me know down in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit that like button as well, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel, so that way you guys can stay up to date on all the Apple content. Now, go ahead and check out my other M1X Mac Mini video right up here on the screen. Thanks again for watching. See y'all in the next one. Squad.